Hey, fellow traders, and welcome to the London session. Get the clock out of the way there for us, and we'll go ahead and get started. I'm not going to be trading right away. I'm going to start out with taking a look at just the overall look of the market, see kind of what's going on with regards to technical analysis, and then we're going to set up the risk. I'm currently working with a live account, and this one is set up with 500 euro, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of trading today if the market is giving us a little bit to work with. So still kind of setting a few things up here and there. Not sure why I'm not seeing my ask line or certain things, but it should be showing up. Yeah, not quite sure why that's not coming out. I kind of have that issue here and there sometimes with MT4. But I'm going to go ahead and do an analysis and just kind of watch that end candle and the white price on the end here to kind of keep an eye out for where it's going. It's not really that critical for me. It does look like the line that I started to set up about 30 minutes ago is kind of still being respected. So let's see if we're going to be looking downwards. More than likely thinking downwards. We are kind of set that line up a little bit different. Let's see. Let's get this one set up a little bit better. That's out. I think I see what the problem is. Yeah, the chart stretched a little bit. No big deal. I'll reset that. There we go. Get it close enough. That's not what I wanted. Leave it there. Okay. So basically, we're just looking at an overall downtrend in the market right now still. We got the interest rates coming up here pretty soon. So that could be sort of an issue with volume and getting price to move. Right now, we're just kind of ranging around. So I don't know if we're going to get too much opportunity. It's been kind of ranging here basically for about a week. We're in the upper part of the range. Turn the auto scroll off. But we're getting kind of towards the end of the range. There we go. So we're going to definitely see some type of movement, but we can see how the trend line is getting respected here at this point. That was the high. Looked like that happened just a few hours ago. So I'm not going to catch that entry, but we could look for some other things. We'll go ahead and set up a little bit of a horizontal line. I'll probably go with that area right there. That lines up pretty well. Getting a little bit of a triangle, so we could potentially see a breakout. For this setup here, I'm going to go just slightly higher than the standard average stop size on a 15-minute chart. So I'm going to go with 18 pips instead of 16. To run this, it's a $500 account. We're going to be risking about 1.05%. Overall 1.04% per trade, so that's going to be a 0.03 size. Do not have any intentions, like always, to never, basically there's no intention of ever hitting that stop. Right now we're going to be working at about 27.869 cents per pip. We have the commission included in the size. We're looking at 6 points for the pip size, so we're probably looking at about 18.6 pips overall. Actual price cutout point would be 17.4. So I'm looking to cut these anywhere between 5 and 8, maybe even at the most 10. So I don't ever intend to really get more than 0.5% of risk involved. But if things are going correctly, I do intend to use some quick positions but those will be in and out. I never intend to hold that double size position for very long. I'm going to try to stick close to this 1% risk model. I've got it bumped up just a little bit because it was around $3 and some change for the stop amount, and I felt like that little bit, that little 0.04% is going to make a big difference in the forward motion. Maybe not so much in the backwards motion because 1% is actually $5. So I've just kind of made that small adjustment to make up for that, and we're rolling with 550 on our commission. I can't remember. I have to double check this one. I'm pretty sure it's on both. For this one, for open and close, I'm just going to leave it on open. And I'm going to be trading the EURUSD with account currency of euros, so that's why our pip value is not 10 cents as they are on the other accounts. So that is our current setup, what we're looking at. If we do hit that stop the first time, just looking at the 494.82 as the balance. So right now, there's no need for this part of the calculator. This is basically to work the formula for break even a little from a different direction. This will basically make it to where if you're looking at, like, potentially right now, I'm thinking probably max target's going to be 14. So what this does is, if, for example, we hit the 494, that equals C12. So where's C12? Let me go ahead and change it in the right spot. If we go ahead and say that we have that post-loss equity, well, now it's going to tell us if we're only looking for 14 pips, we're just going to be needing a 0.05. I'm not sure if we're entirely going to look to use that unless there's a couple of losses involved, and it would take a couple of losses at the current way that I'm looking to trade with the tight cutouts to reach a need for having to use that. In testing, I never came across needing to use this, so hopefully this will just stay to the wayside for right now. Right now, I'm just currently set up at even. It's a fresh account, so we're looking at just that 0.03 with an 18 pip stop. So that's what I'm going to be looking to trade with, and we're going to take just take a look at what's going on in the market. We're going to see if this breakout is actually going to happen or if it's just kind of toying around with a possible fake out. So I have hourly set up. Let me get that back to the end. Where is that? There we go. Hit that button there, and it does look like we may be getting a little bit of a fake out. Quite a long, slow downtrend. And we are preset. We've got a new minute open. We are 2 minutes into the candle. It's quite a push down and recovery. And if we were looking at lowest levels and such, that's kind of strange. It's locking. I have to look at that too for that setting, but pretty close to flat, so I'll work with that. Technical analysis, I don't feel like has been the strongest point of MT4, especially when you're working on the phone, which I think that might be a good topic to discuss if you're looking to trade shorter time frames. You may want to try to avoid trading from the phone as much. The main reason being, yes, you can zoom out and look at the overall chart. It kind of looks the same overall, but when you're looking at lower time frames and you're looking for specific setups and different specific things to kind of happen, you're going to miss a lot of different things on the phone, and you're going to tend to have a much more difficult time actually trading. So just a good trader's tip, if you're trying to trade anything less than the hourly chart, I would recommend trying to stick to laptop for that one, or PC. What do we want to do? Almost kind of want to take that as a buy. We are at a close of a candle. Let's see what we do. If we head up a little bit more, I will take the buy. But I think that might be a drop. So we'll wait just a moment to see what it's going to do. Overall, we've got a downtrend from the 15, even in looking at a market structure point of view. So I'm going to wait to see if this is a flag pattern or if it's going to dip down. If it breaks this line here, I'm going to take the sell. If it breaks this line here, I'm going to take the buy. So how is everybody doing on this morning? If you're waking up on the sunny side of the world at 2 a.m. USA time, I'm going to wait for the candle to close. It's very common for it to go one way starting and then snap back the last minute or the last few seconds of the minute. Let's see if we get a close below either line, or close below or a close above. Patience is key when you're looking for good opportunities. You don't want to jump in and then get stuck in the wrong direction. That's usually a tendency of FOMO and fear of missing out. We are on the 1 minute chart looking right now, so the candle movements may look a little bit more drastic than what they actually are. We've only got 1 pip in this range. This is only a 1 pip range, so very tiny range. Candle movements are not as significant as they look. We are starting to get a little bit of a curve. Got about 5 more seconds in the candle. Still no real. Oh, we got a gap up. I'm taking that as a buy. Strong upwards jump in the tick. We keep resisting that bottom off the level. This was a fake down and then push back up. We'll see if it travels up. Kind of more focused in the chart, but I will be keeping an eye to the comments because I do enjoy discussing different topics with trading, different styles, and so on. I would advise to not copy the trades that I'm taking. There is quite a bit of a delay, so do be cautious if you are looking to copy trade. With this, I'm kind of certain we're going to be pushing up a little bit. We've got a little bit of a double bottom formation. We've got a nice support area here, so I'm pretty confident in this probably rejecting and coming back up, at least possibly to the line. So we'll see if we can get about 8 to 10 pips out of this move. So far it's looking good. It's pushing above. We did get the close above that second level. Had a good momentum. That's why I went ahead and jumped in. I saw that large gap. That was my automatic trigger, and usually I will rely on that signal as the only signal on that minute 1 chart. So we'll see how this does work out. I'm kind of protecting the low visually, but I'm more or less, if we do look to close below this area, I will cut this and I will take less than a 1 pip loss. So account for commissions, I'll be looking at about a 1.5 pip loss. So I'm going to keep this very tight. The main reason being is the less we lose, the less we have to make back later. So using that secret and plain sight video tactic where we're using a wider stop than what we're planning to actually account for, and we will be cutting it at less than 0.5% risk. Also not going to be adding too much unless we do get some serious momentum. It's a pretty good push there. Could just be some coming back to fill the gap a little bit, and then we push out. We'll see if that happens. Getting some much stronger up moves on the ticks. See if I can find the tick chart. Don't really find too much use on it when you don't have a spread, but it does kind of help with the faster pattern recognition. You still have your various patterns such as your head and shoulders, your double top, double bottom, so on and so forth. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Thought it was in here somewhere. I'll certainly have to find it. I closed it out. Use too many different softwares. This one is a broker-specific MT4. It's hard to get an actual clean, non-specific MT4, so there are several different versions of MT4. Some have various options in them that others do not. Kind of used to having a tick chart as either a button or right click, and in this one I'm not seeing it, and I don't want to pull up something that is not needing to be shown. What are we gonna do? We're starting to get some pins up top. A little indecision, but it might be actually flowing with the overall downtrend. Give it just a few more moments, see if it pops back up. Hasn't closed below. Now we've got another big push up. I'm going to have a little patience with this one just to see where it's going to go. Ladder is useless. I'm only using it for this part right here. Don't have my other screen set up with me either at the moment. Trying to clean the computer up, that might actually help the stream speed too. I've got a lot of videos that I need to move off of the computer, so been kind of working on that too. That may help this streaming quality. So far everything's looking pretty good with that though. It just kind of stalled. Does look like we are getting higher volume on the up moves than the down moves. Could be a lack of liquidity right now. Still got a short time to go for the overall news to come in. If this does not start moving, we're probably going to end up cutting it. It's not quite going anywhere at the moment. And it's starting to make me think it could be coming back down. Looks to be a pretty solid level here off the hourly. Got some nice pins off the bottom. Does look like it's trying to push above the line. See if we can get it to reach though. That line's about 10 pips away, 11 pips away. Catching that would be a pretty nice gain on the account. Do believe we're going to head up a little bit higher. I have been thinking long for a minute, but it's not quite getting there. I think the euro is more than likely going to end up ranging for most of the year between the 106 and 110, maybe 111. I remember we opened the year at 111 and have come down. It's very possible we could head back up to the 110s because it has been kind of passing back and forth between the low 107s and the 111s. It's kind of what it was doing the end of the year, kind of where it was showing its strongest points on the extremes. And then with the slow start this year, that's probably going to be the outlook for a little while moving forward. We're going to probably stay a bit slow. We'll see what happens though after the interest rate and major news does actually come through. Hopefully we'll kick into a trend, but worst comes to worst, it could just be a slow year. I know in the USA we've got a lot of elections coming up this year, so that could signal some major changes for the dollar, especially towards the later parts of the year. Especially after the election results come through, that's going to have a major influence on where the pair finishes the year. So a lot of things to look out for in the coming year. And right now, though, definitely a kind of not so starting with a bang kind of start off to the year. We're kind of just sluggish and kind of just coasting around. We dropped down hard off the 111 and then we just kind of sat here for a little while. So it's a little unusual to sit in one tight range like this for such an extended period of time. So I think we're in for a little bit different year. Okay, let me see. Got to add that. Take care of a couple of things. Here, don't need that. Okay. And getting a bit of a price zone happening here. Little cluster. That's good enough right there. We'll do that. Okay. Got a good little cluster to work with. Still looking in the M1. Let's back out to the M5 for a minute. And yeah, so we've got actually sort of a bit of a doji setup happening here. So we could actually see that be a range. Got that strong fake down past the level, close back up. Now we're closing above and pushing up pretty hard. Got this little cluster here, but that actually looks like it's trying to gain some buy power to break up. So we'll see if it goes a bit higher. It's a really solid level here off the 107.6. Very long consolidation period. So it looks like we may have a bit of a break on a short-term trend line happening here as well. Should give us another indication it's going to turn up possibly. Laying it up on the most common. See if we get the divergent to hold. It failed that time, but straight through that time. So maybe third time's the charm for this level to hold up. Gonna take this box out right now, or where it's there. Kind of watching right here, just below the 107.6 for invalidation. We've also got the trend line that could pre-invalidate it, because if it does close back below, it's very likely it's going to continue lower and I'll need to flip. But I'm starting to see the upward pressure come back in, so we should be potentially on the right side of this. Still being kind of sluggish, so may not be a good time. May have to wait for the New York. Is anybody having any questions or concerns with your current strategy or what you're trading, or how is everything coming along? Curious to hear what everybody else is kind of working with and working on. Always trying to learn new things, so always looking for new ideas. Haven't come across anything. Usually the weekends are when I start looking for my ideas because the market is closed. Didn't really come across anything interesting this weekend. Is everybody hearing me and seeing me okay? You know, the live streams don't typically have many who join up. I don't quite have my full setup, so I don't see everything in detail. Still getting those large strong upticks. That line does look to be holding. Have this little level here to work with, so we're good to go. Not much to talk about when the market isn't moving right now. We're kind of just stuck around this little level here. So does kind of look to support the idea that I'm trading with right now. That it's going to reject out of that area. See if that does finally officially hold up. I have to watch this little zone here once we get up that way. Still thinking we're going to reach that higher term line and potentially even break beyond it. If we start breaking above this high here, I'll end up bringing the stop up and actually put it really close, because then at that point this should be a supporting validation for that type of setup. This is more or less probably just going to be support and resistance overall. We do kind of have this here that got used once before. So usually once these zones get used once, typically they don't hold up over the long term, but this one does look like it's going to go against convention. It's just not quite getting anywhere though. Oh, there's the line. It might just be too small. I saw it for a second anyway. A little bit higher. Once it takes that high, I would expect it to go up to the higher term trend line. And if we get a nice pin bar doji there, or a pin bar at least off of there, I might expect it to even push up even higher to the back to the 108s. We've been kind of floating back and forth between 2 and away from that 108 for a minute. So we'll see if it reaches up to it once more. So we would be breaking this high as well, possibly. Right there. So quite a ways to go still. I don't know if it'll do that until after the rates. It's just going to wind up being a little bit too slow until after the rates, though, so I may have to consider just trimming things a bit short. Doesn't look like we're going to get much movement. It's about a 20 pip move down. And up. At the low of the day, we broke that low and retracing back up. Starting to get a little bit of a pin. 1 minute chart though. 23 seconds to the close. Watching and using the clock on the system. So within a half a second. A little bit of volatility going. "13 seconds to the close. Taking a bit longer per candle than the testing was. Closed down, but it was a fight to get down there. We're at the main level again. No real need for that, I don't believe, since it's not actual buy and sell volume, it's determined by tick size. And that I'm actually keeping an eye on by actually just watching the chart. Going the wrong way there, I think. So let's give it a moment. Could have just been a basic run, stop run. Only lost 2 pips there. See what it does. Getting a little bit of an uptrend line there. Don't really have any clean setups or anything to really look for. We've got a main trend line. So this would actually probably be the most likely signal to watch for is a simple break there. So if we have that break there, that might signal the new entry. So I've already kind of got that line placed. Delete that. Just kind of keep an eye on the 15. A lot of selling still right here in this little zone. Take a short. Starting to show a bit of rejection off of that support. Looks like it may now potentially become resistance. We'll give that one a short chance. Got falling market structure, more push of a down. This level and zone's already been used up. It looks like it's trying to push through it, and it's beginning to show some bit stronger motions downward now. Hourly is also kind of lining up down. So I believe down is going to be the overall direction. get a break of this, we could see a nice move. Because I would imagine there are several stops for a long, tight position set right up underneath there. So if it catches that, it should make a good move. A little bit of an anticipation. Still no real setups, just kind of a support and resistance type setup on the current price action. It's really all we have right here at this moment. But there are definitely going to be a lot of stop losses right here in this area. If it reaches that, it should actually create quite a significant push. Could actually see 107 come about from that. Also kind of got a little bit of a trend line break set up, but that's not a real strong signal. Being a part of the 1 minute, a couple of pins. Still kind of stuck to this little zone here. Now it is going to try to push back the other way. See if we get some snap downward. Looks like higher time frames still lined up to our favor. Got this line here to cross in order to break that. Nope, starting to show support off of there now. Gonna have a potential break. Starting to show us a pretty strong 15-minute candle. More than likely, probably right to begin with, this being the strong support point. Showing that as a double bottom, rising lows. Step back out a little bit further. Yeah, that's going to be a pretty strong push. We're going to try another buy from that position. Not too bad off, but not getting much motion. Only a pip or so to begin with. Got some strong upward momentum again in a 15-minute candle. See if it's going to push through. Got a little bit of a flag pattern after a strong push out across the level in the little zone. So we're getting a little bit of pressure back the other way. What in the... All right. Looks like it is. Not sure if I'm getting some bugs or not from my stream. Changed my video on me for some reason on my phone. Couple of glitches and technical difficulties. Still kind of early, still kind of perfecting settings and things. It's giving me warnings still again about my stream health, but I'm not quite sure. I know the internet where I am currently is actually better. Does seem to be varying up and down quite a bit, so this one may not be connected and uploading them until I can get something going with the live streams to where it's a little bit better. It's a little difficult when we don't have a topic or any questions being asked. The main purpose of this is actually to help other traders overcome their hurdles, but if we're unfortunately not getting any questions, it wouldn't offer much by way of a Q&A type help out. So we'll have to see how a couple more episodes go and see how things work with the internet. But it could be something where I may just need to go back to the standard single topic videos and just do the trading focused in my own time. If you guys have any questions, definitely shout them out. Leave them as a comment. If you're catching this as a replay, definitely leave the comment down below. It'll give us something to talk about on the next live stream. I'm going to try to get start to get a bit more consistent about the schedule itself on live streams. So hopefully I can start getting something kind of concrete as far as when you can expect these episodes to come out. You know, it's a little erratic right now, just getting started and kind of working things out to see where it's going. But if things do start to head in the right direction, a schedule would definitely be needed. So I'm looking to try to go ahead and start that, and mostly look to possibly pick one session, or America may be asleep, so probably not going to be too much going on in the GU session and the London session unless you're more of a full-time trader or someone who does not have work that day or works later that day. So it may not be the best time to do the London sessions. I may have to stay more focused in New York. So still kind of working everything out on the details. There's only a couple episodes in, so we're still kind of new to the idea, but we'll see how a few more episodes go and just kind of take it from there. This position, I believe, needs to be held. Gonna look to try to take it all the way up to here at least. Starting to get a break across that main trend line, which is nice. Yeah, I'm not sure. The stream keeps trying to end. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here if it's still going. I'm not sure what the technical difficulties are. Market's kind of slow right now. I'm gonna have to figure out what exactly is going on with this stream. Things are not working out too well as far as the technical side of things, and could potentially be my internet connection being quite variable. But we will meet again, and I will see you in the next